Welcome to the program, everyone. We start with something that's good for you. Support comes from ZBiotics. I got to be honest with you. I like a good drink with friends, but I don't like waking up the next morning feeling like my head stayed out all night. That's why I use ZBiotics pre-alcohol. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic made by real scientists, and it actually helps your body break down the byproduct that makes you feel rough the next day. First time I tried it was before dinner with friends. Took ZBiotics as my first drink of the night, enjoyed myself, and the next morning I woke up feeling clear, hydrated, and ready to go, ready to do the show. It just works. So if you're going out, especially during the holidays, bring ZBiotics with you, okay? So go to zbiotics.com/lemon and get 15% off of your first order with the code LEMON, LEMON. They also have a 100% money-back guarantee, so there is no risk. That's zbiotics.com/lemon and use the code LEMON so that you can be fresh the next day after a night out with a couple of cocktails. Good morning, everyone. Someone says, you had me worried, Don. I thought the same people who got Epstein got you. Damn. No, but I am working on a story about Epstein. That's why we're a little late, a lot late this morning. We're not usually this late. So good morning, everybody. Here's what I want you to do for me. A couple things. Stretch and say, hello, Lemonhead. Hello, Lemon Nation. Also, I want you to hit the like and thumbs up because it does affect the algorithm and more people become aware of our channel here in our conversation because this is an important one. So thank you so much for being so patient. And again, we're closing in on 1 million subscribers, so make sure that you're subscribed. So hello, Twitch. Someone said, when did Don start streaming on Twitch? It's been what, about a month now that we've been streaming on Twitch. And we have some exclusive things for there. We have exclusive things for YouTube, and we'll have it for TikTok and other platforms as we move forward, and also on Substack. So thank you for joining us on all of the platforms. Let us know where you are streaming from. Hello, San Francisco. Hello, Columbus. I see you guys. Hi, Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay, guys, this is a bit heavy. And I've talked about this before. I don't know if I've spoken to you about it, but I've written about it before. And just to show you on this, well, let's just give them a little preview, Andy, of the Substack. So we wrote about this back in August. And this whole Epstein thing, and with the release of these files, it just got me to thinking. And so there you go. The real groomers are in the GOP, MAGA, and the church. And they're all of pretty much the same orbit, the same ethnicity. So, you know, the Epstein files, Matt Gaetz is what I want to call it. And the pattern that America needs to stop ignoring. Okay. So this is, you can go check that one out. It's still up on our Substack, and then I'll write about this one. I'll put this one up later today. But thank you for joining us, everyone. You can take that down. Thank you, Andy. So, wow, this one's going to be tough. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack from it when people are like, Don Lemon, and you know, he's a white guys and saying this about white men, and he's married to a white man and all that stuff. Like, I can't report on it. So I want to begin this morning with something that has been really heavy on my mind, okay? And it sort of shook me more than I expected. I'm sure my team was like, what's wrong with this guy? Why does he have us trying to get all this information and material? Because the thing is that people really don't write about it. People really don't report on it. They just kind of, every once in a while, someone will do an opinion piece, and then, you know, I'll show you in a minute that Tim Tebow did something, but people just don't, they're afraid. They're afraid. So this shook me a little bit more than I expected. Something I believe is a moment of truth for this country. So when the new Jeffrey Epstein documents began to surface this week, you know, when the emails and the internal communications from the House Oversight Committee started coming out piece by piece, you know, I felt something that I rarely feel in this business. And I have a good sixth sense about things. My spidey senses are very good. I felt like a chill, there's a pause, there's a stillness, especially as a survivor. Like, this was, you know, that's why team is, you know, listen, I'm so adamant about this because I am a survivor of this. And I know that it's usually the person who is closest to you, but are people who are closest to you who are committing these things, and people who get, you know, they use the folks around them and their relationship and their proximity to you and your family as cover, the same way that they're using it, people's proximity to power to get away with these things. So there's a pause here. There's a stillness. There's a voice inside telling me, Don, pay attention. Pay attention, because everyone, I want you seriously, just sit and listen to this. So you guys ready for it? Let me know. This is not noise. This isn't gossip. This is not political theater. It's not even like a salacious, celebrity scandal. This is a moment when the country is being confronted with the truth that I believe it is run from for years, because these documents are not rumor. They're not speculation. It's not social media fantasy. There's a lot of, here's the weird thing. Social media reports on these things. Social media has picked up on the pattern. Independent folks have picked up on the pattern. It shouldn't be shocking. More so than the mainstream, corporate, linear, traditional, whatever you want to call it, media. So this isn't, because this information that, as it relates to Epstein, these documents, they come from the government. They come from government servers. They come from official accounts. They come from, the Jeffrey Epstein Foundation or trust or whatever it is, the family foundation. They come from congressional authority. They carry the weight of evidence, So let's stop pretending and stop making excuses and stop saying, well, we don't know this, and we don't know that, and this person hasn't been found guilty of anything. Okay, fine. If not, then show the evidence. They carry the weight of receipts. They carry the weight of a story of powerful people, a story that powerful people never wanted the public to see. But something that stood out to me even more than these documents and the documents themselves, that's the panic inside the Republican Party. The panic inside of the Trump orbit. The running like, ants, sudden scrambling, the late night calls, the pressure campaigns, the warnings to lawmakers, the quiet meetings in back rooms trying to stop before release of these files. I mean, the fear is dripping off of every move that they have made. Guys, this one is hard for me, so I hope I can get through it. I kept asking myself something really simple here, is that why would innocent people be so afraid of sunlight? Why would people with nothing to hide act like transparency is like, it's like you're holding them hostage, like it's like holding a knife at their throats? And just when I was absorbing all of this, something else happened, something that really snapped everything into focus for me. And that is the Matt Gaetz story. The ethics findings, more receipts. The receipts, the payments, the testimony, the travel logs, the 17-year-old child. All allegations, allegedly. The 17-year-old child, the allegations that have followed him for years, resurfacing with new detail and new weight. Allegations that would destroy just about any other man. Allegations that Republicans would throw like a grenade if the accused were a Democrat, if the accused were a drag queen, if the accused were a trans person, if the accused were Black or a Latino or an immigrant. Allegations that Gaetz has always denied while hiding behind the protection of a party that wanted his whatever they thought that he could bring to them, maybe his fire, his I don't know, his MAGA whatever essence, but ignored his character. So when those two stories just in the last couple of days collided within hours of each other, I knew I had to talk about this morning, or at some time, I don't know, this morning, tonight, or whatever. Because this is not random, people. This is not isolated. It's not a coincidence. And we have to stop pretending that we don't see the evidence right in front of our eyes. Occam's razor. The most obvious explanation is usually the accurate, the correct one. These are two windows into the same house, the same culture, the same movement, the same sickness, the same pattern that has been flashing in front of our faces every single day for years. So when you look at the Epstein files and then look at Matt Gaetz, you start to see something that we have been too afraid to say. Look, these are not independent scandals. I don't think you can separate them. It's so obvious. These are not separate scandals. They're symptoms of a deeper truth, a truth about who is doing the harm in this country. A truth about which men keep showing up in these stories. A truth about a political movement that has built a brand on family values, on morality. While being filled with men who violate every value they preach. Every value they preach. Oh, no, homosexuality, you can't. And they say this, and accused of molesting children and boys. And so let's talk about this pattern, okay? We're going to be very honest this morning. Let's talk about this pattern. Because this pattern is undeniable. It's loud. The pattern is consistent. The men in these cases are overwhelmingly white, conservative men aligned with or orbiting the MAGA movement. I'm going to say that again. These men are overwhelmingly white, conservative men aligned with or either orbiting somewhere in the proximity of the MAGA movement. They are pastors. They are sheriffs. They are Republican county chairs. They are donors. They are lawmakers. They are activists. They are Trump insiders. Put up the old Substack for me, Andy. This was back in August. This is what we wrote about. Scroll down for me. The real groomers in the GOP, MAGA in the church. They want you to believe that it's drag queens. And look at some of the people who we identified. This is RJ May, a Freedom Caucus co-founder. Let's show his story. There he is. Keep going, Andy. South Carolina's RJ May, a Freedom Caucus co-founder who preached family values. Prosecutors say behind the screen named Joe Biden NNN69. He traded hundreds of files, more than 200 videos of toddlers and young children over his home Wi-Fi and phone. He is jailed without bond, facing 10 federal counts that could carry decades behind bars. His resignation arrived quietly in August. Scroll down to the next person. Justin Eichorn, Minnesota State Senator. Minnesota State's Justin Eichorn is a state senator who claimed to defend morality until a sting revealed he was offering money allegedly for sex with someone he believed was a 17-year-old girl. He resigned in March, released later in a halfway house, and the story disappeared from the headlines. So those are just two of the people we identified. Here, let's do one more. We'll do one more. Keep going. This is Jason Yates, former leader of an evangelical Christian mobilization organization. Jason Yates, who once ran a Christian political group called My Faith Votes, pleaded guilty to federal child pornography charges. Investigators say they found thousands of illicit images. A man who helped preach purity politics until his arrest revealed the truth. They are the men posting Bible verses online. They are the men who are screaming about family values. They are the men calling other people immoral. They are the men using the word groomer to attack Democrats, to attack gay people, to attack drag queens and trans people. These are the folks who are doing this. They are the men who are being arrested for the very crimes that they accuse everyone else of. What do I tell you about MAGA? Every accusation is a confession. You guys tell me, maybe it's just my algorithm, but on the news sites, on all of these sites, you see their faces every week in the mugshots that come across. I just keep scrolling by them. And I'm like, where is the big layout on this? Where is the big expose on this, on such and such and such news, and this news, and this? Where is it? Where is it? You see their names in these indictments. You see their charges in the police report. You see their communities shocked because the man they trusted with their children, that was a danger all along, from daycare to all of it. That's the danger all along. And it's so tough because it is. Everyone, I believe, is also afraid because, like, oh, well, if you say it, oh my gosh, it's just so shocking to people that it can't be true. And then, like, they can be accused of it and they find some technicality out of it. And do I report on it? Am I going to get sued for a report? Whatever. Damn, you got to report on it. So let me tell you about someone, and you must give credit to this person. I don't know if you guys, some people love him, some people don't. Same thing. Some people love me, some people don't. But someone who's been sounding this alarm louder than almost anyone, and not much coverage from the conservatives, from the Fox Newses of the world, from not much coverage. This should be something that's on every single day. This should be elevated. It should be the lead stories when it happens. A conservative Christian man, a man Republicans admire, a man that the right sees as a moral voice. And that is Tim Tebow. What does Tim Tebow say after years of investigating a child sexual exploitation? I'll let him tell you himself. Here it is.
The number one offender type is biological fathers, but by far it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. Many, over half of them, college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about. Like, they're technical savvy. And I think that it is time that we call them out. Like, that we can't stand by and stand back. Like, we have to stand up and say, not only are we not doing our job as men, it's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing.
Thank you, Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is right. And so why isn't MAGA, why isn't conservative media exploiting this shit? So fuck you, conservative media. And anyone who calls me a race baiter and a racist for saying these things, are you calling Tim Tebow the same shit? Or is it just your racist MAGA brain fucking brain that you, because someone like me, a journalist, points it out that it can't be right, it can't be accurate, that I must have an agenda. My only agenda is that as a survivor, and this shit needs to stop. And the truth is, it's right. It's conservative people, men in the MAGA orbit, white men who have close proximity to children, and it's all the very same demographic for the most part. He says that the men consuming child sexual abuse material in this country are overwhelmingly middle-aged white men, educated white men, employed white men, men with families, men who look normal, men who look stable, men who live in the suburbs and coach Little League. But they don't fit the right wing's description. You fit the description. They're not black. They're not Latino. They're not immigrants. They're not drag queen. They're not trans. They're not gay. All the people that you say are doing these things. Other than sports, I don't want the trans people in sports. This is a perverted. And you're the one who has the perversion. You are the perverts. You're the one who's doing it. And this whole Epstein thing is like, it just gets me because now you're protecting other people. Tim Tebow, MAGA. Tim Tebow, one of your conservative Christian icons, says that these are not the men MAGA tells you to fear. These are not migrants. They are not drag queens. They are not trans people. They are not liberals. They are not activists. They're not Antifa. They're not Black Lives Matter. These are not the people conservatives warn you about on Fox News. These are their own men, their own demographic, their own political base. And Tebow also says something that should shake the country. That many of these men are not just consuming illegal material, they are committing hands-on abuse in their own homes and their own communities. So if you take Tebow's findings, okay, let's just take the findings, and you put them next to, are you guys ready for this? Put them next to these headlines. And you place them next to the Epstein files. And you place them next to Matt Gaetz. And you place them next to the arrest records of Republican officials. And you place them next to the charges against conservative pastors. And you place them next to the sheriffs being booked for exploiting minors. Then you see the truth. That the danger is not coming from the people Republicans tell you to fear. The danger is coming from inside their own movement. So why are they hiding the Epstein files? Or they don't want them released? They're protecting them and someone so much. Why? This is why the Epstein files scares the hell out of them. Scare the hell out of them. This is why they are panicking. This is why they are trying to shut this shit down. This is why they are pressuring lawmakers not to release the full set of the damn files. Can't you guys see that? We have to stop pretending that this shit is not happening. Well, we don't know if he's done something. This is just going to go away like everything else. And if the Democrats are using it and all of this shit, they're going to make hay of it. This, y'all, is why Trump's circle is trembling right now. This is why this story feels like a big, giant earthquake. And this is why, honestly, it's not because of the shutdown, right? This is why Washington is so quiet right now. They're back, but they're quiet. There are only a certain number of people who are speaking out. Everybody else is like, not getting in front of the camera. Not me. because they know once the country sees the full picture of this, and when the country connects the dots, once the country sees, as I talk about the proximity all the time between Trump and Epstein, there was a reason. I don't know how old you are, but my grandma, and who helped to raise me, and my mom would tell me, no, 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 no. That is not someone you need to be hanging out with. Old people be knowing. And you know what they said. Why, Mom? Why, Grandma? Why is it? Because birds of a feather flock together. And you don't need to be associated with that. Discernment. Once this country sees who else appears in those communications, and once the country realizes the pattern, it's not a coincidence, people. Stop making excuses for it. It's obvious. Again, look up Occam's razor. The moral foundation of the MAGA movement is going to crumble when people realize that. I'm not done, but I've gone on because for a while. Can you guys just hold for 2 minutes, please, while I gather myself? A word from our sponsors. Today's show is brought to you by Graza. If you know me, you know I love good olive oil. I love to cook, love good olive oil. And Graza is my go-to now. The holidays are here, and Graza is honestly one of the easiest gifts that you can give. Everybody cooks something, and everyone gets excited when they open really fresh olive oil. Graza uses single origin olives that are picked, pressed, and bottled in the same season, so it tastes incredible. Their gift sets are great too. The dinner party pack comes with wine, cooking, and finishing oils, a corkscrew, and even Evo potato chips. It is the whole mood in one box. It's a vibe. The duo gift set is also a favorite, the sizzle for cooking, the drizzle for finishing. So head over to graza.co/Don and use the code Don for 10% off. It is a gift people will actually use and actually love. Support for the show comes from Lean. You know, I've seen every fad diet there is. People lose weight and then they gain it back. And I only recently learned that this cycle can actually harm your heart, your liver, and even your blood sugar. Doctors call it weight cycling, and half the country does it. Lean is not a shot. It is a non-prescription supplement made by doctors, and the science behind it is solid. It helps keep your blood sugar steady. It helps control your appetite, and it helps your body burn fat for energy, which is how you keep the weight off. If you want to support while you eat better and move more, Lean can help you do that. Go to takelean.com and use the code LEMON for 20% off of your first order. That's TAKELEAN.com and use the code LEMON. Okay. Thanks to our sponsors. Oh, boy, I'm sorry, y'all. So as I said, this whole farce, once people find out about this whole scam about the MAGA movement and about family values and all of this shit, that is going to crumble once people realize it, because this was never, ever, do not think that this was ever all of that bullshit that you hear. It's not about protecting children. That's all posturing. That is all posturing. So that, and they're always accusing the left of virtue signaling. This is virtue signaling at a whole different level. This is virtue signaling in a suit and as a pastor, and I'm as well, and I'm protecting these kids. Virtue signaling, and you know what's up. So it was never about morality. It was never about values, family or otherwise. Never about righteousness. Projection is what this was about, or is about. Misdirection. This is about accusing others of the crimes that they wanted to hide in their own camp. because they know. They know. They know. Either they know of someone else who's doing it, or they may be suspected or has been caught, but we can't tell, we won't tell anybody about Mr. I'm just going to make up a name, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Foster. Across, we can't say because Mr. Foster was, oh my God, that'll open up a huge can of worms. So we'll just keep that quiet. Or they either have the feelings themselves or have thought about something on this whole spectrum of things. Just like they hide, and all the closeted gay men, conservative men in the Republican Party, GOP, and the MAGA movement, you can't talk about this shit. So let me say what needs to be said, okay? The Republican Party does not have a messaging problem. The Republican Party, this is the party that has the moral problem. This is the party that has the character problem. This is the party that has a truth problem. A problem, a crisis that goes much deeper than the politics. Have you guys ever read The Long Night of the Soul? What's his name? Dark Night of the Soul. Why can't I think of the name? I can't think of the name right now. I got too much on my mind. This is a crisis of the soul. God, I read that book years ago. This is a crisis of the soul. A crisis of who they protect. A crisis of who they actually believe, as I just said. A crisis of who they silence, who they elevate, what they choose to ignore. A crisis of what they excuse all the time. A crisis created by decades of looking away when the accused looks like them. This is a crisis that was created by decades of hiding behind flags and faith. You guys know how often I tell you about this whole performative patriotism shit. And to use Tim Tebow as an example, it is okay for them, because they use this as a virtue signal, for Tim Tebow to take a knee and do the sign of the cross and pray in the end zone. But it's not okay for Colin Kaepernick to do the very same gesture. Fucking hypocrites. This is a crisis created by decades of hiding behind flags and faith and the Bible and Jesus said this and God. The very people who are in the churches, of very churchy people, are always talking about, I'm Christian. Those are the ones you need to watch. Those are the least, not, I shouldn't say religious, because they're the most religious, but they know the least about what the actual scriptures say and mean. They are the ones who are not the closest to Jesus and God. Their faith is in the MAGA movement. That's their God, rather than the man or woman who is God. This is a crisis created by decades of screaming about other people's morality while refusing to confront their own immorality. So, everybody, this Epstein story is not just about Epstein. It is about the ecosystem around Epstein. It's about the men who visited Epstein. It's about the men who defended him. It is about the men who pretended not to know him while appearing in the photos. You feel me? It's about the men who called him a terrific guy. It's about the men who joked that he liked young girls without questioning what that meant. It's about the men who reportedly, when they're in power, reportedly was going to have Thanksgiving dinner with Jeffrey Epstein. I'll let Nick Fuentes talk to you about that one.
November 2017. That's Trump's first Thanksgiving in the White House. Are you telling me that Donald Trump had Thanksgiving dinner with Jeffrey Epstein when he was the president? Are you kidding me? That is what is in the files, the 20,000 emails that were released yesterday. We don't even have all of them. And this Department of Justice said the files didn't exist. And they knew that this was in them? Really? How do you expect anybody to ever trust the Trump government ever again? You think that you had the right to bury this? Wouldn't that be pretty relevant if Donald Trump, as the newly elected president, sat down for Thanksgiving, his first one in office, with Jeffrey Epstein, after his labor secretary, Alex Acosta, recently appointed, was the one that gave Epstein the sweetheart deal 10 years prior? That's not in the public interest? That's a non-existent file? You think the public has no right to know? Why do you think they buried the files? It's because this stuff is all over, and this isn't even all of it. Of course now we need to see all of it. Of course now we need to get to the bottom of it. If they were hiding this, and they lied about this, that this even existed, what else are they lying about?
Thank you, Nick Fuentes. Now, it's so weird. I am agreeing with Nick Fuentes. What world are we in? And this is the report. Did Trump spend Thanksgiving with Epstein after he was elected? A newly released email, Jeffrey Epstein said Trump was with him on Thanksgiving of 2017. We have to stop pretending, y'all, like we don't see shit with our eyes. And you will not see a report like this. Maybe now someone will watch it and go, oh, and then they'll pitch it to the network and maybe we should do this. Maybe, but I doubt it. You won't see a report like this on mainstream media. Oh, Trump might call. He's going to be mad. Oh, he's going to sue us. He's going to do whatever. We can't get it up. Shit, we got that acquisition that he needs to sign off on. That merger. No, don't tell those smart-ass journalists down there that don't ruin our shit. We need the money. We need the power. Yes, sir. Won't say it. This is about the men in politics, in finance, in entertainment, in the corporate suites, the ones who are flying around on the private jets, the men in power who flowed through his world like water. And now these files are coming out. And this panic should tell us everything that we need to know. First of all, we need to know, and people need to stop saying that this is going to go away. It doesn't have to go away because you have the power to make it stay. So if the people who are reporting the news to you aren't telling it to you, turn it off. Go to the places who are telling you the truth. If your politicians aren't elevating this and talking about it, vote them out. And vote in the people who will have your best interest at heart and the best interest of survivors and potential victims. Because there are folks now in the Republican Party, again, someone I rarely agree with. He's actually from my home state. I refer to him sometimes as the embarrassment of Louisiana. But look, this is what he's saying about this. They know. Roll it, Andy.
You respond to those comments from Thomas Massie that essentially, if you vote to cover up for pedophiles, you've got cover in a Republican primary. He's essentially saying the president is going to help people who vote with him and vote not to release these files.
Well, here is the way that my people here in Louisiana see it, Casey. My people think, and I agree with them, that Epstein was a pig, a P-I-G pig. My people think that this is no country for creepy old men. My people believe, and I think they're right, that Epstein trafficked young women, some of whom were minors, to himself. But here's the issue. My people want to know who else, if anyone, did Epstein traffic young women to? And if they were punished, how were they punished? And if they weren't punished, why? Now, President Trump has turned that issue over to Attorney General Bondi. And I don't know how she is going to answer that question for the American people without releasing all the records. Maybe she can, but I just don't think this issue is going to go away until that issue is addressed and answered to the American people's satisfaction. Yeah. And I may end up with a sombrero on my head for saying that, but that's the way I see it.
And he is MAGA through and through. Funny that he should say creepy old men. They leave out one word, though. This is a moment for America, for you to decide something, whether we want to keep ignoring this pattern, whether we want to keep pretending the danger is coming from the wrong people, or whether we want to keep letting political loyalty blind us to the truth, whether we want to keep letting children pay the price for adult cowardice. These are the reports that we need to see. Like we're running here today, and this is another example of the kinds of reports that we should be seeing. Here it is.
Released Jeffrey Epstein emails, including emails referencing Donald Trump.
Epstein writing the quote, "dog that hasn't barked is Trump," adding one of his victims spent hours with Trump at Epstein's home.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
Another woman who has alleged groping, unwanted groping, by Donald Trump.
He came to me and started kissing me open-mouthed as he was pulling me towards him.
And when you were starved, they let you do it.
I met Donald Trump at some parties that I was working for Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. I was 13.
Of course, he knew about the girls.
And he basically asked if I could come over and give him a hand job.
And instead, what is Donald Trump doing today? Proof that this is all a deflection. He's posting on social media. The Democrats are doing everything in their withering power to push the Epstein hoax again, despite the DOJ releasing 50,000 pages of documents in order to deflect from all their bad policies and losses. This reeks of desperation, by the way, especially the shutdown embarrassment, where their party is in total disarray and has no idea what to do. Some weak Republicans have fallen into the clutches because they are soft and foolish. Epstein was a Democrat, and he is the Democrats' problem, not the Republicans' problem. Ask Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers about Epstein. They know all about him. They don't waste your time with Trump. I have a country to run. Damn. He needs to show this to his psychiatrist or psychologist or therapist. Because it is so obvious. He may as well say, don't look at me. Don't look at my association. Look somewhere else. If you were an attorney in a court of law, you would say, jury is guilty. The truth is no longer hiding, folks. It's standing right in broad daylight, right in those documents, in the Gaetz report, in the arrest logs. The truth is in the data. It's in the faces we see every day in the news. It's not coming from outside the Republican Party. The danger is coming from the men they refuse to confront. So we deserve better. This country deserves better. Look, the children deserve better. The truth deserves better. It's time to speak it no matter who gets uncomfortable. And I'll end this part of the program with Tim Tebow again, just to bring this point home. And you will not see this, I believe, anywhere else. You tell me if you have and if you will. And if you start to, then you're welcome, mainstream media. These are not disconnected stories. The Epstein story, the Gaetz story, what's happening in the country at large with who's committing these crimes. These are not isolated or separated. It's all part of a pattern. Roll it.
The number one offender type is biological fathers, but by far it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. Many, over half of them, college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about. Like they're technical savvy, and I think that it is time that we call them out. Like that, we can't stand by and stand back. Like we have to stand up and say, not only are we not doing our job as men, it's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing.
I'm back in 2 minutes. Support comes from Ali. Now, you all know that I love my dogs. They're my family, and I want them to be healthy, happy, and full of life. That is why I switched them to Ali. It's fresh human-grade dog food, real protein, real ingredients, slow-cooked, and my dogs absolutely love it, even my picky one. So I have noticed real changes, too. Better digestion, more energy, shinier coats. Just take their quick quiz. They make a plan for your dog, and it gets delivered right to your door. The Ali app even lets you talk to experts about your dog's health. So here's what you do. If you want a really healthy pup, good nutrition, shiny coats, all of that, the tail wags, the little doggy grins, go to ollie.com/lemon and use the code lemon for 60% off of your first box. And they have a happiness guarantee. If you're not satisfied, you're going to get your money back. That's ollie.com/lemon. Support comes from Cozy Earth. You know that moment during the holidays when the lights are low, the music is soft, and the house finally feels calm, and the holiday lights from the tree or the menorah that's going, and maybe a fire. That is the Cozy Earth feeling. Their sheets are made from viscose from bamboo, and they help you sleep cooler and more comfortably. I slept on them last night. It was great. I have given Cozy Earth as gifts, and people love them. They come with a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty. I mean, that is how confident they are about all of this. Right now, you can stack my code DON on top of Cozy Earth's early Black Friday sale for up to 40% off. Go to CozyEarth.com and use the code DON. Start your holiday shopping with something people will actually enjoy. That is CozyEarth.com and use the code DON. Thank you to all of our sponsors. I'm glad that I was able to get through this. And that's why also yesterday, do we have the original yesterday of the Kelly thing? And then, because I want to play you the difference, and I'm going to tell you when people are when people show you who they are, you must believe them. And it is also an indication of the grift in conservative media and the MAGA party and people who build their platforms and their careers on bigotry, racism, exploitation, using other people in order to climb the ladder. Devil may care about who you insult, hurt. This is from yesterday. I don't know when she taped it, but this is what yesterday when it was posted, what Megyn Kelly said about Jeffrey Epstein and pedophiles.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn, now they call it child sexual abuse material, on his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10, I was under 14 when I first came within his purview. Look, you can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. Yeah. You know, it's just whatever.
I know. Oh, wow. And here's what, now, yesterday I said, it's, maybe she's trying to explain the difference between the levels of whatever, but why was that even necessary? Why? Because a minor is 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 a minor. Now, the folks I spoke to, and I said, well, maybe they said, well, no, Don, I don't think she was trying to explain it. What I think she was doing, again, this is according to them, and then the more I listened to it, I'm like, is trying to make an excuse for the possibility that if Donald Trump was involved with someone who's underage, at least it wasn't a 5-year-old. That's what, now you tell me if you think I'm wrong on that one. Because also, this is a difference between Megyn Kelly in 2018 and Megyn Kelly 2025.
You know, you feel as a victim, you feel a victim. To people who are going to be out there, because you know some are going to judge and say you were 15, you were 16, you were 17, you were a willing participant. Again, the legal age of consent in California is 18, so there's no consenting for a 14 or even a 17-year-old in these circumstances.
And then we saw the one. Okay. So listen, I don't know where to go from here, because this one has really just sort of pulled at me, as you guys know. Especially someone who has been someone who is a survivor, because I don't take glee in any of this, as I've told you, because I know if anyone is involved, if anyone is implicated, any one of these people, I know that there are people behind it who are suffering, who have been victimized, and some have not survived. Virginia Giuffre did not survive. She's no longer with us. So this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Let me play this for you because I want you guys to know it's important because the government was shut down, and this is of urgent concern about health insurance and Medicare. And there are a lot of things you don't know, things that are changing that you could go into the next year and all of a sudden it's not the same. And I want you guys to be protected. So here it is. I want to talk to you about something that really matters, especially if you are 64 years old or older. It's Medicare annual enrollment season. And this is a time to pay attention, everyone. I just went through it with my mom, and perhaps you have been there too, sitting at the kitchen table, buried in paperwork, trying to make sense of it all. Plans have changed. Some were even canceled. And get this, according to the Wall Street Journal, if you're not careful, you could end up paying more, even lose coverage for your doctor, for the doctor that you trust. So pay attention. That's why I am telling you about Chapter. Chapter is the Don Lemon Show Network's new health partner. They review every plan nationwide to find out what's best for you, not what makes them money. Their help is 100% free. It takes about 20 minutes, and on average, people save around $1,100 a year. So don't wait. Call Chapter at 212-931-0855 before December 7th and make sure you and your family are protected. Okay, so I want you guys to be protected. So thank you for that. I asked earlier about a dark night of the soul, and I think it was, I forget which author it was, the one that I read back in the early 2000s. But I don't see I forget what author it was. But anyways, it's a very good book. Was it Eckert? No, it wasn't Eckert. Was it Eckert? Maybe it was Eckert. So anyways, that's neither here nor there. Here's the thing that I want you guys to know, because we're going to talk about these things in person. As I was on the private stream yesterday with the legends, a lot of them told me that they were coming. And correct me if I'm wrong, producers, they're not from New York, right? And they're coming in November. I guess these folks are flying in.
I think a few are New Yorkers, but then, yeah, definitely some are flying.
Yeah. So this is on November 18th. And I think the tickets are selling out. So you got to act quick. This is Tuesday of next week. Am I right? Yeah. Tuesday of next week. And so I will be at City Winery. It's going to be the Don Lemon and Jennifer Welch show, the Lemonhead Don Lemon. I've had it with special guest Anthony Scaramucci, City Winery, this Tuesday in New York, this coming Tuesday, the 18th in New York City at City Winery. So get your tickets. And then in December, I will be in Philadelphia with D.L. Hughley. So get your tickets there. And then that's December 8th. And then also on December 10th, we will be in Chicago, D.L. Hughley and I, DL and DL in Chicago on December 10th. And in Philadelphia on December 8th. And Jennifer Welch, Don Lemon, Anthony Scaramucci, special guests, Jay Jordan, November 18th at City Winery. Okay. So thank you very much for that. I want to show the Lemonheads before we show. These are the folks who are Lemonheads, and they have purchased, or people who are supporters of the channel, and they have purchased some of our merch. And who do we have? Oh, this is the Lemonhead candle. I love that's really good. It's lemonade too.
Yeah, this is Janae from LA or
Hello,
Louisiana. I'm not sure.
Janae from LA or Louisiana. And it says there, so these are the fragrances, the notes, as they say, that are in there: lemon, lavender, and sandalwood. It is delicious. Okay, that's our candle from our merch store. And then who else do we have, Andy?
This is Tina from Nashville.
Tina from Nashville at Miles Barbershop in Nashville. Go check out Miles Barbershop and Tina with her beautiful Lemon Nation shirt and the Don Lemon biggest fan. And she's gorgeous. Thank you for your support. Is that it for the day? And also, if you go to donlemon.com, click on the merch, and that's where you can get the merch if you're interested. And we have some winter things. We got some Christmas things coming up. We need to get on that Christmas thing, and they need to come out soon because you guys need to start buying it. My tree is going to go up soon, and I'm sure yours is as well. And then if you click on backouttoDonLemon.com, and then our main page is there on the YouTube. You can click on that, and then it'll take you to the YouTube where you can become a member and you can subscribe as well. Subscriptions are free. Thank you for becoming a member. That's how we stay viable out here. Welcome to the Lemon Nation Trinity E77, and welcome to the Lemon Nation Jones Thomas 6125 in Los Angeles. So welcome to all of our new members, and thank you so much for your support. And also go back to donlemon.com and click on, this is our new spot, y'all. Click on the Twitch. Hello, Twitters. Look at us. We're live right there. It's a little bit delayed. So that's us right there. Live on Twitch, okay? So there are a number of different platforms that you can get us on, okay? So thank you so much. I'm going to see you back here. Let me know what you think about this. Whew, I'm glad I got that off my chest. And come see us at City Winery, where you can see us in person and you get to ask us all these questions and we can hash it out and talk about all these things. You're not going to get this in the mainstream media. That's why we're here to tell you the truth, and we're glad that you're helping us to build this community. So I'll see you back here at 5 p.m. You can be informed without being inundated until I see you back here at 5 p.m. on the Don Lemon Show on the Don Lemon channel. I want you to turn the TV off. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time with new clips dropping at 2 p. and 8 p. And if you want even more Don Lemon Show content, join the Lemon community. Members get exclusive posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and live chats just for you. So hit the join button or visit our channel page to sign up. Thanks again for all your love and your support, and I'll see you next time.